Okay, there we go. We are going to be doing a random, just random chaos draw of tarot cards for the weekend, and we've got torrential rain out there. That's great. Soft ambience of chaos in the background, right? A little bit of hail, a little bit of thunder, but this is going to be for everybody. I'm going to make sure I put it up on the recast for the weekend, but I think today's the what? Yeah, today's the 14th, Friday the 14th, and it'll be for the 14th, 15th, and the 16th. And since we've got this card out there, we're going to go ahead and flip it and see what's going on. The Empress in reverse. It may be more important for giving to be put on the least priority. Do not prioritize giving to other people or other things, and it may actually help you get past some of your own blocks. But with this card coming out in the reverse, you are, and this is for everybody, for the collective, not for any specific sign, but it's likely that you are giving too much for and to other people and to things outside of yourself. So if you feel like you're overwhelmed or just can't manage to focus on anything that you need to get done, that is going to be most likely be the reason why it's giving too much to other people. The Page of Swords in reverse. So communication coming in, but it's not going to be something that you want to hear or anything that you want to deal with. Starting to see a pattern already. But for this weekend, it could be that somebody else is trying to trigger you into making a bad decision. So going from being overwhelmed and pretty depleted is putting you in putting everyone in an impatient position right now. And really, if these people don't want to have anything to do with you or they want to cut you out of the life, I don't understand why they don't just stop talking to you. Stop involving you in things that you don't need to be involved in. But it's likely that with the Empress in reverse being the previous card, that somebody else has involved you in their problems and in their issues because they needed you, but they didn't like you. They just wanted to use you as a resource. And the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So self-discipline is going to be very important dealing with these energies this weekend. And it's just to... So being in the habit of always saying yes. I feel a lot of people pleaser energy with this, and that might be the main problem that's being faced by most people right now, is trying to get things done. You just go ahead and say yes. You don't ask any questions. You don't ask, do I really need to bother with this? As well, if they're asking me for assistance, then they must really need it. But they might not. They might just not want to deal with their own problems. And I promise not everything in the deck is reversed right now, but this flew out. So we're going to stay with it. Possibly dealing with an Aries this weekend. But with the Page of Wands in reverse, yeah, it feels like if you come across this reading, you're most likely have been getting pulled off of your own path, pulled off of your own projects, forced to deal with more of everybody else's stuff, and it's going to come to a head this weekend. Yeah, with the Hermit coming up finally in the upright, our first upright card is it's going to be important to find out why it is that you've been doing the things that you've been doing, and if they are directly related to someone else, for someone else, and has nothing to do with you, get off of it. You started things in the past, and now it's time to go back to them and find out why you left them and maybe start summing them up again. I do feel like there's going to be some answers whenever you look back at the projects you abandoned, because of the reasons why you did so were not your own. This could end up sending you into a very ambitious course of action to where you're like, oh, hey, I could fix that. I could do that. No problem. I can actually finish that project this weekend and start on something else. So a lot of checking off boxes this weekend. It most likely is going to be going back to things that you already started, or ideas that you already started to plan out. And most of your success is going to be at the end of this weekend. So Sunday. Followed by what feels like to be a pretty good period of rest too. So, and with justice in the upright, this is you bringing justice to some unfair situations that you've been dealing with. You may have been made to feel that something was your responsibility when it wasn't, and I almost want to say that there's a chance that somebody else is bringing this to the attention of another person, and it's not so much that the other person is willing to stick up for you or stick up for um, your right to your own time. It feels more like they've never seen the involvement that you have with this other person or these other people. And they're almost standing there like, why do you have them doing that for you whenever you could do that for yourself? Why are you focusing on someone else doing this for you whenever you could just do it yourself in 5 minutes? Well, so and so was willing to help me, so, why not? Like, well, it's taking them a week to plan out to be able to help you for 5 minutes, and you could have already had this done for yourself. Yeah, this other person feels as though they are very unbalanced right now, and they may be using emotional manipulation to get other people to do things for them. Like, well, I really don't feel that well right now, and I wish I could, but I really can't. But could you do this for me? And people may just be not wanting to deal with them at all, but they don't want to feel guilty about it, so they give into it. Um, Another vibe that I'm getting off of this is that this could be someone that was in some kind of addiction, whether it's alcohol, drugs, or maybe they're just addicted to stress. And they've gone through some kind of rehab program or some kind of therapy. And oddly enough, it seems as though they may be just using the lessons in therapy that they're learning, or through this rehab that they're learning, to manipulate the people around them better. So be aware of that and be aware of what exactly it is that they're going through. Um, there is a slight chance that you could be enabling them and not even realizing it. With the Queen of Pentacles, do not turn your back on your future. There's some very concrete things that you can start to bring into fruition, but it really does feel like there's some of these past projects, these past energies that you need to put on. You need to know where you stand with them. Like, do you want to do this project or not? Do you want to finish this or not? Do you want to just totally write it off because it's really not something that you wanted to do? But it was like a temporary pipe dream that sounded good at the time, and you feel like you put enough energy into it, you should still want to do it, but I think this weekend is going to be a good time to find out whether you actually want something for yourself or someone may have just made something look good. And I have a ladybug on my screen right now. Come on, come on. So maybe some good luck. Now, hopefully that is a good omen for everybody. And the Seven of Pentacles. So if you can manage to get the energy under control this weekend, you're going to have plenty to harvest. But you really have to stick to the I'm dealing with my stuff right now, and I need to figure out what I'm doing with my stuff versus this people pleasing, kind of helping guide everyone else. And it almost, I really want to say that there's a blind leading the blind kind of a thing going on because of this other energy pulling you off of track of what you should be doing because their path is for them. They should know what and how they need to do, or they should be figuring out for themselves because those are their lessons to learn, not yours. Start thinking in the long term versus what can I get done today? Unless you're going to cross it off your list and totally remove that avenue for your energy, I would not even bother putting any energy into it anymore until you can focus on it. It really feels as though there's 2 or 3 big things that need to be focused on right now that you've neglected quite a bit. And the Three of Cups. So someone is not going to be happy about this, and it could lead them to gossiping about you, or you overhearing some things that you probably wish that you wouldn't have. But it's going to be pretty obvious whenever this happens that they were just using you, or they're only willing to give out the part of the story that benefits them at the moment. And if anyone brings up, well, I thought they did this for you and that for you, it's not going to be like they have an answer for it. They're going to deflect and put that attention on something else. And it's going to be pretty convenient whenever this other information comes up. It's like someone totally uninvolved is still, their energy is still there. From what I'm gathering, it's like they're a new person, new addition to the friend group. Um, Maybe a cousin that's not around a lot, that they're over there kind of like paying attention to what's actually going on because they don't have any preferences. They don't have any real sides that they're taking on anything. They're just observing, and what they're seeing isn't making too many of these people look all that great. Four of Wands in reverse. And sadly, this could involve some foundational relationships. Yeah, because some of this is going to come out and it's going to be, well, if you didn't want to do that, or I just I thought I'd involve you with something that I was doing and I thought you'd be interested in this, and it'll be a lot of guilt tripping and kind of forced kind of sympathy getting um, reactions. Like they're saying all of this like with their nose stuck in the air, like, well, I thought you would be interested in that. I don't know what you're into. You never talk to me because I never really have room to tell you what I'm into. I have told you that I am busy doing this, 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 and you never listen and you don't care to remember what I'm into because you don't get anything from it. And I have to over explain why I'm interested in things, and you think all my time should be in maybe servitude for you or for somebody else that you think needs my help whenever really they could just handle all this themselves. So it's very likely that this could be a mother figure or a female that's there like, well, you're supposed to take care of everybody. And that's not the case. So I know St. Patrick's Day is coming up, but it's not this weekend. There may be some big things coming up, like a St. Patrick's party this weekend, and that's why all this is coming out. But I really kind of want to reiterate that if you don't want to do something, then don't do it. You don't have to show up for people that don't show up for you, unless they're going to get something out of it. And the Ten of Pentacles. So with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, it seems to be coming up quite a bit lately on the dailies, and I'm with everything else that's come out so far for this weekend read. It's almost as though someone has been promising that there's going to be a payoff at some point, or for taking on this responsibility, you will be given XYZ, but it's never really written in stone. There's no contracts, there's no signatures, there's just this, well, I assume that you're going to take care of me. Why won't you assume that I was going to take care of you? And I don't think there's any real intent of them taking care of anybody that's watching this. I really don't. I think they're just using this idea, this really wishy-washy insinuation of, well, I was going to, well, now not, well, I'm better off if you just take me out of that running because it's costing me more in time and energy than I'm going to get out of it. So it may be a very firm line that needs to be drawn this weekend. Like, unless there's something that cannot be taken back, if you want to give it to me, but don't make me work for it. Don't make me do all this ridiculous stuff for it because you might or you want to, because that's not giving me anything. That's manipulation. And it doesn't seem like this is somebody that's using you for money or that's using somebody else is trying to get money from you, which sometimes this Ten of Pentacles can come off as, but someone lording money or the promise of money or property or something like that over somebody else. Yeah, because they're not covering their tracks as well as they think they are. They think they're acting strategically, but sadly with this, I want to say that they may have falsely signed a name to a document that could potentially put someone on the hook for a debt or for something like their name is on a property or on something that's going to bring debt, bring a responsibility that they shouldn't have. So if you have family that's in insurance or in life insurance policies or some kind of contract-based whatever, it seems as though this other person that's trying to lord this money or this promise of money over everyone around her, because it's not just one person that they're using this tactic with. They could have worked with another person to falsify some signatures, falsify some kind of paperwork. And beware of anyone saying that they're going to gift your child something by like putting their name on a property. because that is not going to go the way that they think it's going to go. And it could just be another mess to clean up. With death in reverse, yeah, this person isn't going to want to change. And after this weekend, they're going to give it a couple of days. I literally am saying 2 days, maybe 2.5. And then they're going to start right back up with it again. So by Wednesday of next week, they're going to be doing the same thing that they were doing this weekend and thinking that, well, I thought you were just having a bad day. And almost putting it off as like, well, none of that conversation happened and nothing's going to change because you had a bad day. Yeah, we talked about it, but I don't see why you're being so ungrateful. Well, most likely you haven't gotten anything out of this other than more responsibility and blame. And, of course, the devil in reverse. I always have a really kind of difficult relationship with the devil card, whether it's in the upright or in the reverse, and I never see it as a bad card. And again, it's another one of those cards that's reiterating that there's some kind of attachment here that someone is trying to pin the querent down with, and it's not working. It's not working because they're doing something illegal, they're doing something exactly the wrong way, they're trusting the wrong people, and if it actually came to some place where there needed to be like some kind of like justice of the peace or mediation, lawyers and judges, it might get past everybody else, but once a judge sees it, they're going to be looking at it like, why did it make it this far? Why? Because none of this, it's almost as though nothing is notarized. Or there was again, falsified signatures, falsified documents, something is incomplete, and that incompletion is what's really calling this out and making it really obvious. So if it does end up going up to a judge, it'll be probably 3 to 5 months before that happens, but um, once it gets there, it's most likely going to be thrown out. So I'm not going to say don't worry about it because you will be getting some kind of paperwork about it. And if you just ignore the paperwork, the court paperwork, that's where it's going to be. There's going to be some fallibility put on you because you didn't answer or you didn't show up to court. So still show up and say your piece. And if you have receipts, if you have documentation that you were not involved in this, that you denied it, that you refused to be a part of something, take it with you. Take everything that you got. And with the Queen of Swords coming up in the reverse, we've got turn your back on future communication because you've said your piece. And you're only saying the same thing over and over again because no one's getting the hint, and they keep trying. It's almost as though they keep trying to get you caught up in in something where you said no 47 times, but you said yes kind of once. So that's what I took. So that is going to be it for the weekend random tarot card vibe session, whatever this was. And thank you guys for tuning in if you did. I do appreciate it. And I will have the dailies up for Saturday in the morning. So thank you for tuning in again, and please check back for dailies.